Alright, in this video we're going to go over how you set up Advanced Archer AI in one of your starting template projects and get everything ready to go from the get-go, because there are a few things we need to do in order for it to work properly, unfortunately, but that is what it is. And first of all, before anything, I just want to say thank you if you have purchased Advanced Archer AI. And here we are inside of Unreal Engine. Still 5.3 if you're watching this from the future. Greetings. You're going to go into your library, you're going to launch whichever version of Unreal Engine you're using, preferably newer than 5.2, and we're going to create a new game project. I'll wait for that to load. Alright, you go down into this game section over here, and then we're going to do third person. Pick your folder, pick your name. I'm going to call Archer Setup 3 because this will be the third time that I've created this Archer Setup folder for testing purposes, so here we are, making updates and fixes, and should be the version that should work. So we'll get going and tell you how to set it. So now that we're here, you can minimize this. I'm just gonna close it though. Scroll on down to Advanced Archer AI, which I have a lot of assets collected over time. Here it is, and you're gonna add that to project and pick your project. Overwrite files. Sorry about this. This is because there's like starter content inside of the Advanced Archer AI that I could not delete. It just simply wouldn't let me without causing issues. So now it's just stuck in there. Wherever your Archer Setup 3 is. Okay, now we're back in our third person template. We've got our Advanced Archer AI folders. We can go in here and see things. We can look around, poke around. The first thing we want to do is go into the Archer AI player folder, and you see this player controller and this character. We're going to set those in the world settings, which over here you can go into our game mode override, and we want to override our player controller for player controller class. You can drag and drop these if you want. If you can't, you can just select them through here. So we'll do that. Make sure it says Archer Test. So that's for our player character. It would also be a good idea to just go up into project settings, maps and modes, into selected game mode. Oh, it automatically updated for us. That's nice. So apparently if you add that here, it will update in here now. That's cool. Love to see it. So go into, let's see, our next step. We want to just add the character, the Archer. So we'll do the ranged enemy. Let me zoom in over here so we can see what's going on. We'll give him a rotation so he's facing the same direction. So before we test it out immediately, let's go look on this bottom right section, the details panel, while selecting our Archer. If you go down here, you can see the behavior tree is idle and their new state is defaulting to passive. So they will default in the passive state. Don't really worry about this unless you want them to start in like an aggressive or what's the other one? Alert state, which we'll touch that later, but for now, and also the team will be none. You can change this to team 1 or team 2 or just leave it as none and they'll be green, and that is the default no team. So if you're green, you're also no team, if that makes sense. So now you can see we got the instructions in the top left. You can find those, I believe, in the player controller. If you need to read them, that'll pop up over time. You see the red warning message, no nav mesh bounds in the level. AI will not be able to move. We need to add a nav mesh bounds to the map. So if you press any button that would make them do anything, like 7, it will not work. And if you try patrolling, you'll get this error message as well because there's no patrol points. So it's a bit much because it continuously spams that, but then you'll know, hey, you can't tell this thing to patrol unless you have patrol points. So our next step is to go into window and find place actors, and we're going to search for that nav mesh bounds volume, and here it is. Drag that into the map, close this. Get it to about the center. Something you can do if you're lazy. Just click this box, right click location, copy, grab our nav mesh, paste the location there. Then in scale, we're going to go 20, 20, and then 5. And that'll give you a nav mesh bounds. It's not perfectly centered. We can actually move that forward. And it'll, as long as it takes up the map, that means your AI will be able to travel in those bounds. You can press P to see, and you'll see the green, and that will show you where your AI can travel. All right, so now when we hit play, you'll notice that red message is gone. Our archer is here. You can press num key 1 to get him to raise the bow, 2 to set down, 7 he'll follow you. And yeah, that's the basic setups of how to set up the thing. You can press T to change your team. And if you change your team, you will probably also want to set up the teams for your archer. So let's do that next. If I copy and paste, we'll make 2 copies. Where'd you go? There you are. So this guy, will make him team 2, and then we'll click this dude and he'll be team 1. Notice you can also change their health stats, which might be a good idea to add damage stats, but you can do that on your own. You're a developer, bona fide game developer, figure it out. But honestly, ask me if you have any questions, I will help. So here we are, we got our 3 teamed. Switch to our blue. If you press 3, I think that'll make him go aggressive, so he'll immediately try to shoot the red guy. Press 3, and they'll go off and shoot each other. T to switch teams, and now you've got combat between the 2. Oh, looks like blue got him this time. I wonder what happens when we make green shoot. That's interesting. So red and blue won't fight team green because it doesn't have a team name. That was just for testing purposes. It's one of those things. All right, so that is the basic setups for Advanced Archer AI. Should help get you started. And if you want to take a little peek, we got our different behavior trees. I think the big one's the patrol tree. So you can see what's going on behind the scenes here. We have states for guard, alert state, and all that jazz. The passive state. Aggressive, they just fight to the death. We've got some little helper tasks, which really I just made these and then just ended up not using them because I went a different route, but I figured, you know, those are useful. We'll keep them. Okay, enough of me rambling. This is the Advanced Archer AI. You can find it on the Unreal Marketplace. Another thing, if you're looking at the trees, we also have many tasks and the animation retargeting. So we're just kind of give you behind the scenes. We got data table for archer states. You can change their speeds and their acceleration for the patrol pass. What else we got? We have structs for our patrols that plays default animations and all that if you want to modify those. Wait times for your patrol points in case you want to patrol and then stop and wait. It's pretty modifiable. Yeah. So just again, let me know if you have questions. We got multiple environment queries. This get all enemies is pretty useful. And guard location and context anchoring is pretty useful. That's a quick overview. All right. So here is the Advanced Archer AI on the marketplace. It was not yet rated, but a while ago, user Matt did rate it, and that's how we got these updates to fix things. So thank him for that, because I was not aware that there was an issue, and he brought it up. You can see kind of what's going on. We also have this Advanced Archer help thread. So yeah. So I'm now reminded, if you want the archer to just chase you, you can make sure you're on a different team, like not green. So if you go into player, your third person player character test, I believe if we find team, I believe it's on the character. Yeah, see how if you search team in the team details, changes to team 1 or 2. I forget which one's which. And then team 2 will chase you, but right now they're in passive. So if you switch to aggressive, they will fight to the death as soon as you spawn in, because that's what the aggressive state goes with. So first they're going to go after that dude, but once they find that you're close, they'll get you. So that's one way to set that up. So I'm going to change this back to passive. Another way, if you want to set up the states of the enemy, let's go in here real quick. This server change state call is good, but a better one is actually use this interface, event set enemy behavior tree, because that calls server set enemy behavior tree, which calls run behavior tree. Or is it server set enemy change? Actually, it's this one. Event set enemy state. Sorry, I just misspoke. So this could be an update, but I don't think it's super important. But if you want to change your enemy state programmatically, call this function. So like say event set enemy state. This is actually an interface. Oops. Just go set enemy state. Call function. You can use the interface here. And I'll do an example. It's actually, like I said, it's probably better to use this interface than it is to just use this, but they both work. So you can call this from anywhere you want, and you can say, okay, aggressive. And that'll make that AI change their behavior to be aggressive. So yeah, that's what I've got for you guys. I hope that helps. And as always, if you have questions, you can try and find me on my Discord, add a profile picture, you'll get auto mod timed out. Otherwise, you can go to the Epic forums, and I kind of check those pretty frequently. Sometimes I'll have it just open, and other times I won't, but I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can if I'm available. Cool, this video is way longer than I expected. I thought this was going to be like 2 minutes. I'll probably edit it all out. But anyway, we don't want to start aggressive. You can do new state. Ooh, yeah, you do this. That's what it was. If you would like this variable, default passive, this variable is connected right here, new state. So you can change this aggressive, and that will set this to change enemy state, which is the interface, which is calling this, which, you know, goes through all this stuff. If it's aggressive, it extends the bow and calls server change state. So that was the one thing, is that if you call this server change state, it skips ahead and does not extend the bow, which is not 100% correct, if you ask me. I don't think that's worth submitting an update for, but I'm going to make sure we have a mental note of that. All right, cool. Thanks again. Until next time, peace.